Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're here tonight in Mario Stadium, commentating a match with Lionel Roosevelt and Gabe. Gabe?
AKA
Gabe,
the come-up kid.
Gabe, what's Gabe's last name?
Cave.
Cave, I believe?
Cave.
Yeah.
Gabe
I think
Cave.
so.
Gabe.
We are
we have an accidental random
We've had
name.
Solomon Antonio Matos IV and Connor MP Gulick.
That's right. I am Connor Gulick.
And I'm Nicholas Keller.
Nick Keller.
And welcome to the first ever New Paltz Mario Superstar Baseball Club stream.
Yep.
Featuring commentators.
Alright, so we got Lionel, I believe, on the left with the first pick. Bowser Boo, pretty much becoming the gold standard these days.
At least for him. Like, I feel like your average player is more likely to pick
And you see Lionel pick a third pick, Petey, and Gabe counterpicks with DK. We know that Petey, DK, and Birdo can be a filthy team. I think Lionel...
Wow, this is going fast. Having trouble keeping up.
These players know who they want.
Now we're seeing Yoshi and the 9th slot, which is roughly what I believe Yoshi should be valued at. Red Mad goes next. We have Wario getting picked a little earlier than usual. Nice early Dixie for Lionel. I'd like to see Dixie early. Still kind of weak on the batting. Very interesting pick by Gabe. Gabe has been a Toad supporter for a long time. And, really, with these lower tier characters, if you know the secret to hitting a good single with them, they effectively become mid-tier.
Yeah, they pay off in the long run.
There's some subjectivity to the lower picks, certainly.
It also depends on what synergies they have. I know Gabe
Of course.
Teach right now, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he's going to be limited by this position because there's no way to have anything in Wario now.
Right, I mean, I have to imagine he's going to have Peach on short, or Daisy. But yeah, Toad is definitely a good activator for Peach.
You know, fellas, I don't like to see baseball games without Diddy Kong. I don't understand the no picking.
But we got Dixie. Dixie is just better than anyway. So.
Pretty surprising. Diddy really has a pretty low chance of getting on base from my experience. Sometimes he does. Everybody does sometimes. But
In my opinion, I would pick him over Dixie Kong any day.
It's kind of an interesting debate right now. Lionel insists that Dixie is better, and it's hard to say. Dixie has the super catch and just the super catch.
And Clamber.
And the possible star hit. But Dixie just seems to be, I don't know.
I feel like she consistently can get a run in or get on base without having to
She's a little better at singles, I'll give her that. You can't pick on her as bad as you can Diddy because his bat's so small. I do see that, but I think Diddy's prowess in the outfield is just phenomenal. And
I feel like you have everything except the super catch in the outfield if you just choose Dixie over Diddy.
Yeah, right. It's something intangible about Dixie that makes her, at least as good as Diddy.
She's a bit of a liar.
I'm not quite sure what that means, but I agree.
Well, I'll keep commentating as I pull this up.
A conversation that I wanted to start during picks that I didn't get to because they went so fast.
Speed Demons over here.
Speed Demons. Lionel first picks Petey Piranha. Do you think that he had to pick Petey third to counter the possible synergy of Birdo, DK, Petey in the infield? Do you think he was too scared of Gabe having that, or do you think he actually values Petey at a third pick?
I think it's both. I think Petey is pretty much around that zone anyway, but also the fact that Gabe had those two characters makes it almost a no-brainer at that point. So it's a little bit of both. Just overall the right pick, I would say.
Oh, what? A few misinputs there.
Oh boy. Oh, okay. So this is like a. All right, yeah. I had an idea, but I didn't want to make a statement about it without.
Dixie definitely.
Yoshi tries to steal second, does not quite make it.
We have.
It's usually pretty good to go for it, just because Yoshi is like the fastest character in the game.
He gets there almost every time.
Yeah.
Almost.
This was not one of those.
No. King Boo, batting third. Consensus is kind of forming around King Boo being the worst heavy. That is, aside from Wario, BJ, and Pianta.
Is BJ considered a heavy?
No. Well, they're power hitters. They're power characters, but they can't hit home runs consistently. The characters that can hit home runs enough to be considered a threat, King Boo.
Oh my god, we got Hammer Bro. Hammer Bro just runs like a kid. Like, see, he's like, you just kind of keep.
Sorry to correct you, Sal, but that is Fire Bro.
Literally same thing.
Yeah, the red flames coming out of his.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got the slice hit from Peach. I like to call that the slice. Peach has long been an underrated batter, and that's kind of kept her down on the tier list. But in my opinion, with the right technique, a little L canceling, Peach can get pretty consistent base hits.
Little
with that
L canceling.
slice effect. Yeah, it's when you pull back, and pull away from the plate as Peach. It kind of like gets the ball a nice curve towards the foul line. Really strong.
And how do we feel about Peach's star hit? Is it viable in any sort of way?
I don't think it's worth 2 stars. The fact is that it can be caught, and a lot of the time it is caught. And for something that's not guaranteed, it's not really worth 2 stars in my opinion. Now, if she's your captain, maybe.
But Peach has not seen any captain play in Fortnite.
Not in a while. Lionel and I have been experimenting a little bit, but I don't think I would do it in an official club match. Let's just say that much. Which is good, but not that
I'd
good.
have to agree with you. Peach never runs up on my team.
We have Lionel charging with Bowser Jr. Still, no one has yet to hit the infamous Bowser Jr. home run. It's yet to be seen whether it's possible or not.
Yeah, that's not real.
Kind of like putting a man on the moon in the Mario baseball tournament. We have Madge at the plate. Probably going to see a star hit. Unfortunately, it's caught by Daisy. We have a nice first game so far. Alright, we got DK. Now this is Gabe, right? Yeah, this is Gabe. Wow.
You see DK smack a rocker into
Only gonna get
left field?
Just a 2-star fancy single, you know? It's nothing crazy. You know, that hit, that's kind of like Peach's hit. It seems hard to catch, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah, but Peaches gives you a lot of time, but that's more of a top 5.
Yeah.
Very more so than Wario.
Yeah, I would much rather be catching Peaches than DKs.
Yeah. Because that's like fast, that's so low to the ground. I'm pretty sure that you're better.
Quite challenging in their own way, but I'm definitely a little more afraid of DKs.
Wario stank ball.
Right now we see Gabe. Ooh, wow. Oh, that is going to net him at least 1 run. And it looks like 2 for sure.
No laser here.
A very effective use of Wario's star hit.
I actually didn't know if you got hit by the other ball that you got knocked out.
You know, that was nice. I'll take a 50-50 chance at getting 2 runs in. That was pretty interesting.
I usually don't see that work out too well.
Obviously not reliable at only 50%.
I like the
Hit it to Yoshi, it's a 0%. But
right. I like the Bowser Jr. on short. That's first time I've seen that personally. It seems like a pretty good bet. His slide goes far, and the synergy with Bowser makes him a pretty good arm too.
Bowser on home, you mean? Like
Bowser on first,
Oh.
Bowser Jr. on short.
Yes.
That's what Lionel has right now.
Oh.
We had a nice hit from Dixie. That's what we're talking about. Dixie is not a free out for the fielders. Let's just say that.
Definitely not.
I think this game is still like...
Yoshi put that with 4 star
Close.
power.
Almost gets that along the foul line. Let me see. Now we notice is that although Gabe has the early lead, he did burn all but 1 star, and so we'll see if that strategy is able to sustain a lead, or if it's just an early burst. I know initially when we started playing with Gabe and friends, Lionel and I, that is, we were surprised at the amount of stars they used, because we weren't really accustomed to that kind of play. But because of them, stars have kind of integrated into the meta. And Lubs is trying to find his bottle. Luckily, he succeeds.
You got him.
Peach gets the...
Just a little baby.
Yeah.
Speaking of little babies, Toad's up at bat.
Ooh, oh, we got a nice L cancel stuffed by Magic Koopa. Wow.
So is that what we're calling it? An L cancel, not like an L dash?
What, when you're in the batter's box?
Yeah.
Dude, it's L canceling.
Is it?
Yeah, you know, I think it's hilarious. Alright, we got some more water bottle confusion here at the New Paltz Baseball Club. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that's such a theme in the last 30
Yeah, I
seconds.
just had a water bottle thrown at me.
And a beautiful hit from
Ooh, we
King
got a
Boo to result in
greedy-
a double. A greedy double.
A greedy double from King Boo, but, you know, a double
That
is a
puts
double.
Bowser up to plate with 0 outs, no pressure.
Oh my god,
Oh!
star hit.
That, oh!
Yo, you get slid back hard with
Whoa! Oh, no.
That was half the field.
That did not really work out.
I want to say I'm very surprised to see Lionel star hitting with Bowser. That is the first time I've seen that, I believe. Very surprising.
In recorded baseball history.
Recorded it? Yeah, that too.
One time
Because that started today.
I remember I had a Toadsworth on second, and the same situation happened where called Bowser star hit, and I went all the way
Super
back.
catch though.
Yeah, but I went all the way back until I hit the wall.
Oh
It
my
was bad.
god. That's hilarious.
Alright, DK up to bat against Boo. You see this a lot.
Okay, DK, kind of hard to hit inside pitches with DK unless you're very far out in the box.
Bowser just coming and pushing us.
He's doing a good job. I think one of the big themes this week, maybe the last week and a half, is that the classic shortstops are not essential. That is Wario and Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
They're definitely viable options other than those two. We're seeing, I mean, in my own game I use Waluigi, Lionel's using Bowser Jr. Definitely interesting to
As long as
see.
you have some synergy with first base and shortstop and running back, that like makes you that you don't really see that position.
Bowser Jr.'s star hit has been really trending up lately. It really makes him a not terrible pick.
I think it's alright. I
For
still-
2 stars, I know.
I
know
don't
you're
quite
right.
trust it. That is a nice match. Lionel is probably going to get... Oh, okay. Alright. I thought we were just...
Not gonna risk it for the risk.
But also, I've been experimenting with Fire Bro on shortstop, which is also a viable option. So, although the premium shorts are still the best, you can certainly run an effective fielding operation without them.
And a club to fair ball.
Alright, now the bases are loaded,
I beat Sam.
and
you put him left
these are loaded. Dixie, not exactly who we're looking for here, but certainly possible.
With 0 outs, we're going to get to see quite a bit of the
I went like
lineup
through
still.
her hurt box there.
Absolutely. Now Yoshi, on the other hand, fairly consistent single hitter. Kind of threatening if you're the pitcher right now, I would say. One of the few players right
Oh no, it's not.
So he gets the run in.
And a funky input to
he got it out.
brutality.
Right now let's the thing about
Was that a
Lionel.
drop ball on purpose? Because that was funky.
I'm not quite sure. One of the things that sets Lionel apart from the other players is he actually knows how to play baseball in real life, and so things like that, he knew that you could sacrifice the inning to get a run in, which is, you know, I probably wouldn't have thought to do that. So that's just one of the little advantages that makes Lionel arguably the top player here.
You got to keep in mind that Lionel and Gabe do have the same record, only 2 losses. Lionel has a few more games.
Ooh, very nice hit from Waluigi.
Was that a charge hit? Did I see?
No.
No. Okay.
That was an
I
out
thought
cancel hit.
it went really far, and I was just confused.
The L cancel was an inexplicably powerful hit.
Gil joins us on the commentator table.
Absolutely.
Say hello to Gil, everybody.
Hi, Gil. Alright, so we got 4 innings to go. Lionel on the plate. Ooh.
It's
Okay,
a
very
roast.
nice fire hit from Mario.
It's a roaster to the wall.
A little surprising to see 2-star hit with nobody on base. You know, if you don't have anywhere else to use your stars on the team, you might as well use them.
Mario's star hit was pretty consistent.
Oh, it's good. I think it definitely puts them up on
And
the
even
tier
if
list.
there's like a fielder right there, like there's 10%,
Surprisingly straight hit from King Boo, but again, Lionel with the pro strats here.
With the knowing how to play baseball.
He can still run even if the ball is caught.
we got Bowser and Mario.
And keep in mind, folks, Bowser does win games, as we've seen time and again. As long as he doesn't get struck out, which it's extremely hard to strike him out because his home run hitting a hitbox is absolutely massive.
Here we are.
So,
Strikes and
now one point that
And we have a full count, ladies and gentlemen. See how it goes. And he goes for the strikeout.
Oh, no, he gonna come in?
One of the reasons Bowser is so good is because it's not just that you're gaining Bowser on your team, it's that you're preventing your opponent from having Bowser themselves. And if you've ever pitched against Bowser, you know how big of a deal that is. It really sucks to pitch against Bowser.
Yeah, especially doing a first pick, like after they fix it.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that Lionel got a run in there, now it's a tie game.
We got a tie game, we could see a pretty close one here, it looks like. But yeah, when you're pitching against Bowser, nothing really feels safe. Even star pitches are kind of risky. So, you know, definitely strong contender for special teams. Yeah, like we were saying during the draft, if you know the character, then they, you know.
They can do a lot more work for you than they would with someone else.
Yep, absolutely. Birdo with only 1 star to work with here. Opting not to use the star. Yeah. An interesting development with Birdo earlier this week. I actually was able to hit a home run with no star with Birdo. That was the first time I've seen that in a long time.
That's a lie.
So it begs the question, it was not a lie, it happened.
That's incredible.
So it begs the question, you know, when you don't have a star that you're willing to use and you're up with Birdo, what should you do? Do you charge? Do you not charge? Or do you bunt? Birdo kind of has had a tough time getting on base without a star, but you can. The home run potential is there.
I mean, I think for out of all the balance guys, I'd say Birdo's home run potential is probably the highest.
I agree.
Maybe next to the
only one I've seen hit a home run is Birdo, personally. But, okay, so that's another run for...
No, it's not another.
Another run. Alright, so Wario is kind of a... I don't know. Other people seem to have more success with Wario than I do. Walk. Lionel first pitching to Daisy.
Daisy's up with 1 star, not enough.
And Daisy, like Peach, kind of has that slice effect if you can get a good hit with her. Like that. That's going to do it.
That's a
gonna be a run
very
right there.
strong hit from Daisy.
Only 1. And that's what we're talking about.
The crowd is shaking.
Now.
All those Piantas and Toads in the background are just on the edge of their seat right now.
A lot of big Daisy fans. Ooh, never before seen star hit with no
Very
key.
interesting start with the Noki. Right
Now,
down the middle.
that is pretty damaging.
Petey's sitting down at the plate.
That's pretty significant because until now, I didn't even think to use Noki star hit. Possibly we might have a Magic Koopa-like situation with Noki. If that proves to be consistent, she could probably shoot up on the tier list in the next week or two. We're gonna have to experiment with that after club for sure,
After tonight's events.
or even during. Maybe if Bowser Jr. was not gonna get past Birdo. Bowser Jr. is still kind of unreliable on the singles. I kind of like him, but even then.
Really, in most cases, he's not.
Oh,
That was
a devilish upside. It's Magic Koopa, 2 strikes, 1 star left. Let's see what they okay.
I feel like he's, in my opinion,
I would agree. Oh well, Bianca.
I think his home run potential is better than Bowser Jr.'s.
Oh wow.
Especially the red one. I think the red one definitely has some kick.
Somebody hit a home run with Pianta, that would be pretty much the biggest event of the night. Yeah, that would be.
Me personally,
Like the game would actually crash.
There is no animation for Pianta home run. They didn't program it.
It could never happen. Goomba's got one. Not beyond.
At the bottom of the 7th, he's up again. No runs for Lionel that last inning. But then again, we've seen Lionel as more of a late game player, so definitely can't count him out just yet. Another nice single from Toad. Toad, definitely a character to watch, possibly underrated on the community tier list. Not too sure, but no, not at all. Okay, that's gonna be a double play. Wow, close one, but still gets it in. All right, we got a very strong lineup coming in. Yoshi, Mario, King Boo is about as good as it gets for the starting lineup of the game. Charging with Yoshi at every at bat. Not a lot of people charge with Yoshi.
It's worth having moves.
This game,
I've seen it. It went down the middle.
oh, okay.
Or it might have been once.
Interesting. That is interesting. I don't know. It's one of the great things about this game is two good players can have a completely different idea of what should be done in a given situation. Charging with Yoshi, personally, I never do it.
Yeah, same thing as uncharged kids are pretty standard.
Pretty great.
Usually guaranteed.
I think the value of Yoshi is the most beautiful.
We always see DK with a clean, just no charge. What are we calling no charge, Chase?
Just swing the regular hits.
Yeah, sure. DK can shoot a regular hit. DK can definitely pull that off.
Ooh!
And that's the second beanball of the game.
Wow. You got Wario. Another star hit.
Wario to the
It's
same,
gonna be big.
50-50. There it is.
Ooh, a nice play by Lionel.
Oh, wow. A triple
wow.
play. We have truly witnessed history here
I
at
feel like the
baseball.
Onion's not as good as the Steel one, just because like it has such long airtime that like it gives all the burners that kind of like get so far.
All right, walk on Bowser. That's the second time I've seen Gabe do that. I think it's a little bit shameful, but you understand.
Nah, you kind of got it.
You kind of got it. PD is definitely less of a threat than Bowser, despite still being a threat.
Yeah, like in this situation, you're 2 runs up. It's his last time at bat. If Bowser's up, might as well.
Yeah, now Bowser wouldn't have made the comeback alone, but definitely would have helped. And we have, that is pretty much exactly what we want to see from Bowser Jr. Yep, yeah, no reason not to burn your stars at this point in the game. Now, do we have any left? No. Lionel's been increasingly confident with Magic Koopa's unstart hit.
That was a wonderful steal from
It was a nice steal. With not too fast of a character too. It's good to see. This is pretty exciting right here. This could really go either way. Yeah, that's even better really. And the red one, noticeably better hitting without the star. I used to question why. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's gonna be the game.
Okay.
All right.
That is
That
a
is the
great game.
first recorded game in the New Paltz Baseball Club.
Wario gets the MVP.
Wow.
I think it was that one Onion ball in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, the onion ball. That's what does it. All right, folks. Well, it's been a pleasure, and maybe I'll see you for the next video.
I take that off.
Well, this is
I know the 50-50 was 50-50.
This is a stream?
Like,
No, I think it's recording.
that early in the game, I had nothing to lose. And then,
City Hall said if it's going on
And
Twitch,
then-
but it's going to be about
again,
Oh,
like we
shit.
should
I
all
feel
have
shitty
one.
about it,
But like it's all
but
one
the
video.
walk-
It's all one video.
the walk
Oh,
on
wow.
Bowser,
So
right now,
you
we're
should
just
feel
chilling.
shitty about it.
It's open
I
mic.
can't
All
risk
right.
it. No,
How's everyone
I love pitching
Corners of
against
my
him,
mouth
but
are a little tired, so I'm gonna go piss and maybe play a
because that
game.
happens to me. It's like,
It's been a pleasure.
it's annoying as fuck, but like in that situation,
So go find yourself an opponent.
all right.
No,
If
It's looking like me and Gil on the mic right now.
I couldn't risk anything.
Because Connor had to piss, and I think Connor's going to take a seat
Always
tonight in
Yeah, for sure.
Gabe, congratulations. Can we get an interview?
Thank you. Sure, I'll take it.
Come on in. All right, come take a seat. Thank you so much. All right,
Incredible.
Gabe, so how did you feel going into the 9th inning up by 2 runs?
Honestly, I felt pretty confident. I definitely could not risk pitching against Bowser. That's why I took the walk. I also think that's pretty shameful. But in that particular situation, I couldn't risk. I couldn't risk the home run.
I understand people thinking it's shameful, but personally, yeah, I think that was the correct move. Absolutely. Pitching to Bowser, like it almost bit you in the butt anyway. You almost scored with Bowser anyway, so like you really couldn't go about it either way. You like risked maybe him scoring a run over him definitely scoring.
Right,
a run.
exactly.
I would have definitely walked Bowser in that situation too, and it was really good of you to think so.
In that case, it's either you have a basement or you have a run-up.
Right.
Against if you play against 80% of his hitboxes, most likely going to go into the outfield.
Exactly.
Unless you charge up.
Yep.
That's the situation, especially when you're only up by. If you're up by 5 runs, you hit him, that would have been a little bit disrespectful.
Right,
But
exactly.
I think in your case, that was correct.
Yeah. I'd say about 3 runs or more I'd pitched against him, but with 2 runs, that's a home run and then it's a 1-run game. So I can't. That's 1 RBI and then that's it. That's extras. So
So I agree with your decision fully to walk Connor.
for sure.
What's the next game? Who's playing?
I think Connor's going to hit the setup with somebody.
Okay.
Pick somebody out.
Okay.
So, Gabe, I have one question for you. How did you feel going into this game knowing that you and Lionel are tied with the same exact record in the club?
Actually, he has 1 less loss. So now we're officially tied.
Now you're officially
Now we
tied.
both have 3 losses.
Congratulations.
So the only
It's very
difference
big.
may be in wins, but as of right now, we're tied. Huge win.
Huge win, yeah. Sal, do you have any questions for Gabe on his big win?
Gabe, sir, how do you feel? How do you feel after this astounding performance, beating Lionel 4-2?
It feels pretty good. We're tied in losses now. You know, we're right there.
Now,
Right.
Gabe, I have to ask you, what was going through your head when you got that first onion ball in the 3rd inning?
Oh, I put all my money on a 50-50, and playing against a player like Lionel with that amount of skill, that's stuff you have to
Yeah,
go for.
you lucked out.
You got to put all your money on that, and even high percentage can't confirm all the time because of Lionel's great pitching. So.
And it worked out.
Right.
Those 2 hits got you the lead. You maintained that lead for the game. Even when he tied it up, you immediately retook the lead and just kept it. So, congratulations,
Thank
Gabe.
you.
Gabe.
Thank you very much.
Gabe and Ovi congratulated you a billion times, but I have another question. How do you feel about the abundance of star hits in that game? Both from mostly Lionel, but I think you have 3 interesting star hits as well. Were you mad at the Noki, or was that me?
That was me.
That was you, yeah. That Noki star hit had Connor reconsidering Noki as a player, actually.
Yeah. So Noki has one of the star hits that's not like Magicoops. A few of the sidekicks have Magicoop's power, like Magicoop star hit where it dips and like can go on the foul line. Noki has one that's similar to sidekicks that they're more powerful, but they're not necessarily better hitboxes or better positions in the field.
I think
It
it's the
can,
green one you're talking about.
yeah.
I think the green one has the star hit similar to the Magic Cubas. I believe it's the green one. It's a very similar hit, but I don't think it goes as far. Like it barely leaves the infield.
Yeah.
So
So I think with that star hit, it doesn't make the hit better necessarily, but it almost makes the path that the ball is going to take like get there quicker. So for instance, in that hit, if I didn't use the star, it might have been caught by the pitcher. Because it was a short grounder that it didn't have that much height or speed to it, so that had the potential to be caught by the pitcher, which would have, wouldn't have gotten me the run, wouldn't have gotten me the lead. So, and I had bases loaded. I had to do something he couldn't expect.
For sure. Thank you for that input.
Sure.
That was a very interesting.
We got 2 empty setups. Who wants a game?
Sure.
Who's getting on the stream with Connor? Who's Connor's opponent?
Should I put one glasses or like?
Yeah, no, this is no, it's not really
Oh,
set.
just for today.
Yeah, this is just today stuff. And because they got rid of the upstairs.
Hey, Connor.
Connor?
Yeah.
Do you have a specific opponent or are you just waiting for someone?
Sure. Yeah. No, I'd love to.
Is he deaf? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a deaf man on the stream.
What's going on?
Connor, I want you on the stream
Do you have a
next.
specific opponent you want to play or?
No, whoever wants to play. Alright, I'll avenge one.
Wait, hold on.
Avenge me!
Oh, we had a challenger. I think Gil was interested in in
No,
getting
sure.
this game in.
Sure. No, I'd love.
Gabe,
I
you
want
want to
nothing
commentate
more.
with me?
Don't avenge me!
I'd love.
Alright, let's sorry for the bad noise, but we had a really bad
Oh yeah.
we had a terrible
Not this one.
Yeah.
see at that game.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm gonna go grab the
There's
an extra setup and I commentate.
If anything, you want to angle it almost.
Yeah.
So we have like the back corner.
I need to rack up more losses. I'm going for.
Tonight's your night, City Hall. You're gonna get a W. Let's go.
I'm going for all in 69.
Let's
There's a Wario star hit that got me the run, and it says Park and run with the car.
So you did you say something?
That wasn't inside the park, it was nuts. How's it going, Mom? How's your game?
That's why I lose. I never get to the
I've not lost. Wow.
After this game commentating, I'll play you because I haven't lost either.
Yeah, I lost to him and I beat Sam earlier. I avenged Ben.
Nice.
You avenged
Yeah, Ben.
Alright.
Ben's
Honestly,
Ben's
if not, I
getting
can
there,
tell you someone that I have lost fun. Yeah.
I think I played everyone.
though. Do this.
Like not all tonight, but I
All
played.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a game here. This is Connor Gillick versus Massey Gill,
If anything,
a.k.a. Gill.
I know, I'm trying to look for someone I haven't played yet either.
Yeah.
Well, there's an open setup, but you guys are commentating?
Yes.
It's a big job.
It is a big job.
Yeah, if anything, we might
And
Connor, move it a little bit more because I can't.
Oh, you can't see.
Can't see. Yeah.
You want to move the top, maybe?
But
I don't think.
What
I don't think it's
angle?
laptop. It's just the.
Oh, you want to see the screen?
Yeah, just the screen. Yeah.
All right, Gil wins the
When do we know
rock,
when
paper,
we're
scissors
starting?
for first pick.
Is it, or is it just going?
First pick's Birdo, something we see very often.
I fucked up. Yeah, pretty standard for first captain pick.
And Gabe, we might actually get a chance to commentate on the picks because Connor is a notoriously slow picker.
Great.
We'll have plenty of time.
Perfect.
I got all night.
So Gil first picks Petey Piranha. Not a move we see very often, but Gil is very set in his ways about his roster. Connor should not have too much competition when it comes to picking characters because Gil has a lot of interesting picks, and I think that we're going to see quite a few of those basement tier picks.
It's interesting locking down the Yoshi Birdo almost immediately. I definitely agree with that, but at the cost of a pitcher. Alright, King Booze can definitely agree with.
You got first captain.
Doritos Blaze! Oh, whoops, that's recorded.
You deserve it. You were the first brave soul to play on New Called Spaceball Stream. Yeah, you were one of the two brave souls.
Yeah, I know, and I took
Peach is fifth round.
I took a big L.
Apparently pretty early for Peach. For the most part, I see Peach as more of a 6th or 7th round pick.
At this stage of the game, absolutely.
Gil with a very early Shy Guy pick. What is that about?
I don't know.
What that is about is a waste of a pick, is what it's about.
You know, I was agree.
It could be Dylan showing as him representing Shy Guy, especially on the mound.
You know, Shy Guy sort of has like a small following within the community, and like the players who really advocate for Shy Guy have been like sticking to their guns. They've been picking him every single game.
Not this early.
Shy Guy really has his own cult following.
It's strange. It is a very cult-like following, and honestly, if they want to pick 8 players, that's fine with me.
Right,
Because
exactly.
if you pick Shy Guy, you picked 8 players.
Hey, you know what? I must admit,
We picked 8 players on an out.
I must admit, Shy Guy on the mound was a little weird because, you know, I've had 0 experience betting against Shy Guy, so it was a little, it was a little adjustment.
It's a little awkward at
And
first.
I had trouble hitting for the first 5 innings because I had no idea how the pitches were going to do the hitboxes. So it's a pretty good mix-up, but once you get used to it, it's really, it's worse pitching. Yeah, it's devastating.
This is phenomenal, as in
I think we're going to do this from now on.
5 setups.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't think you got there.
Now it's Gil's chance to show us what basement tier is all about, picking the 9th pick, or just gonna go for the big guns. We still have a few very good players open.
I was about to say.
We have
Yeah, a few
Wario,
ringers
BJ. BJ's very valued in the outfield because he has not very valued, but he has
I put money.
wall jump, right?
Yes,
He's got a wall jump
plays
on it.
right.
I put money on a
plays
Wario
right, he'll have the
pick. I
chemistry
put
with
money
Bowser.
on a Wario pick.
And wall jump, so that makes sense.
It just makes sense to this team. That just shows his confidence, honestly.
Or Dixie.
Looks like Dixie might go
Oh,
9th.
no, don't pick her. She's a
18th overall.
That's what he does.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's a
That was honestly that was a hard read. He left Wario open until the last pick because he values other players more. That's
Wow.
that
Ladies
is
and gentlemen, that is a 3-star Bowser team versus a 5-star Birdo team.
But the difference here is what I'm seeing is I see a purple toad on the mound, and that, in my personal opinion, might be a questionable call.
so we have 4 announcers here. Let's get our opinions. Who's gonna win this game? Where's your money?
I certainly can't call it yet. I see a lot of interesting picks tonight. Gil specifically going for Black Shy Guy and Purple Toad. It's a very interesting mix-up that might pay off for him in the end. Now Connor's team looks solid.
Yeah.
He has every character that he's ever been comfortable with.
He's got some serious hitting staff on that team.
I would say so. I definitely would side more with Connor's team, especially me. Generally, when I'm picking, I value the evil characters, like definitely more highly than the but again, I don't have much experience with the hitbox characters, so it's a toss-up.
See, the thing that stands out for me here is that Connor's team has 3 of the best pitchers in the game currently, in Boo, Peach, and Waluigi, leaving Gil's team much to look like, you know, big need on the mound.
Who does he have?
Who does he have on the mound?
Who does Gil have on the mound?
Purple Toad? Do you have Purple Toad on the hill? Yeah. Yeah, we got Purple Toad as the starting pitcher for Gil's team.
That is a bold strategy.
It's bold indeed.
It might be a bit of an adjustment at first, but once you get used to the pitching style and the...
We have a showdown with the first at bat.
Oh, the showdown.
Now, we all know that Luigi has a pretty decent...
Wow, look at that chemistry. What a cannon.
The Wario
Grab ball to
chemistry
the
at
left
shortstop
side,
is
retire
really
for
something
every
else
one.
you have to see.
Strike 1, swinging and a miss.
Now, Mario's very famous for his star hit.
Strike 2, swinging and a miss.
Mario's
Really, that's true. Really, if it could get out of the infield, it's a high reward. Either as a double or a triple.
Goes for
2 outs on the
star
K.
hit.
Now, recalling one of Connor's earlier games. Sorry, I'm showing up to call late. What was the score of that money match here?
Oh, I believe it was 11-1 final for Connor.
Wow. That's amazing. See if Connor can
Wario puts his body in.
take that momentum.
Yeah,
Wario
put up a
synergy
repeat performance.
Wario Synergy takes out the fastest, one of the fastest
Yes.
runners in the game, if not the fastest, or tied for fastest.
Yep.
Gun down
One of the
Yoshi.
fastest, if not tied for fastest.
He's dash dancing.
Don't forget
He's
about
got
Toadette.
Monty
She's got wheels.
Toadette does have wheels, but she has nothing else.
Or the
going for her.
KB with the
Except she's the cutest
synergy.
in the game.
That's spicy, like these Doritos Blaze.
That's huge.
Brought to you by Doritos Blaze.
I'm saying that. Goddamn.
Brought to you by Natty Light. And a lot of wheat.
And a very good childhood.
Star pitch for Purple Toad. Something I haven't seen before. What? Definitely effective.
Yeah, the non-captain characters have like a weird spattering of different star abilities.
For sure.
But Toad on the Hill has got that quick pitch almost. It's like boom, it's there. So if you don't really read it, it's hard to adjust to react to.
He's really got little arms, so you gotta factor that into his pitching.
True.
Yeah.
Whereas Waluigi's lanky as hell.
You really can't expect much. I mean, Toad's a baby, so...
Toad is a baby. Speaking of the babies, when was the last time you saw one of them in a game?
That's true.
Haha, never.
Exactly, and for good reason.
Yep.
For good reason, they are both chilling in basements here very comfortably.
Let's strike out.
There's only one man who I think can take
Speaking
Baby
of which,
Luigi
Baby
out of the
Mario
basement.
is on that setup over there.
Who's on this setup? Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news here in the baseball
It looks
scene.
like
It looks
Baby
like
Jim picked Baby Mario.
Looks like a Baby Mario
Jim,
snuck
are you out of
his
your
way into
mind?
a game.
It really makes sense.
Goo goo gaga Jim.
Are
you crazy?
Really seems to have the baby connection.
Nah, fly ball to center is caught easily. Yoshi's eating that ball for breakfast.
You get up to the mound. Let's see if he's going to charge.
Yes.
Charges.
So you're gonna miss strike 1?
Cannot predict Toad's irrational.
Definitely something.
Line drop to left, but sucked by Birdo.
Birdo on short.
Some great suck right there. Oh, dribbler past the mound. Black shot eats it.
Blocks it down.
Diddy's feet just can't get him there.
Tosses to first for out number 3. We head to the top of the
Dead
third. No
even
score.
game with 0 hits apiece.
0 hits, 0 runs. Obviously.
So what's the over/under on a no-hitter in this game?
Impossible.
Impossible, you say. Well, I got another out right here to back it up. So what do you say? So make that 2 to back it up. We still got no hits through here.
Wow.
2 and 2/3.
Okay, let me retract my statement and make a new one. It is certainly possible, although never seen.
Never
A
seen.
no-hitter on either side?
Especially on street.
The no-hitter would be legendary beyond belief. It would be incredible. one of the best things I would ever witness for sure. It'd be a whole saga, but you know what? To get through, if you want to pitch a perfect game, you got to be perfect through 2. That's what we have here for both of these squads. Until now!
Wonderful hit from Birdo to be the first hit of the game.
Smack in the ground rule double!
Double. You don't see that text up on the screen that much.
The rarity. If you've got golden text on this, if you've got golden text on the screen, you've done something right. Because the triple play is up there too in terms of rarities. So now we only have one no-hitter hopeful left.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about something.
What's that?
What is the legitimacy of any other character as your captain other than Birdo and Bowser? Because consensus from the club right now is Birdo, Bowser captains, nobody else.
Well, you know, the thing about that is that
Marno, I know you pick Mario sometimes, but I think that's just because
I usually don't go with Mario
I've seen
ever. Maybe once in a blue moon. But what I see here is that Birdo is so valuable when she's only using a 1 star for a star hit, but when you bring her down to 2, her stock drops immensely.
Right.
If she's not the captain, she drops from 1 to I want to say about 10 easy.
Yep.
So if you don't pick Birdo, you're taking a phenomenal character.
Wow.
That's a great hit.
That was
by
an
the way.
incredible fair ball by Peach.
Wow.
Shy Guy's
And
running in.
almost
capitalized
nerfing
off
them,
of a
but we're
triple.
going to see a triple here.
Wow.
Round third! And she's going home for the inside the park home run!
Amazing.
Speaking of rarities,
Incredible play.
Connor will talk Peach up, and he has the proof.
inside the park.
The proof is now in the pudding, as it is on
Wow.
Peach doesn't need to even hit it over the wall. She says, I'll take 4 anyways.
Looks like that's going to be the second inside the park we've seen on stream tonight.
Ooh.
inside the park.
Yeah, we don't talk about the first one.
Yeah.
That's a fair ball down the right field line, heading into the corner, but Peach cuts it
Back
off.
to the legitimacy of any other characters.
Right, so other than Bowser and Birdo, honestly, the alternate here seems like it's Birdo. I think Bowser should be a captain regardless of his first pick or second pick.
Not because of his
So,
star.
no, but
if
because
your
of his
opponent gets
leg.
Bowser,
He doesn't need a star hit.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
He's like, oh, star hit, I'll just smack the ball over the wall instead. I don't need a star.
My
So,
whole hitbox is home run.
pretty much, though.
Yeah, pretty
I mean, you get the occasional pop-up, but I mean,
It's rare.
the percentages are much in that favor.
For sure.
So other than Bowser, I think Birdo is the odd thing out. And a good alternate, in my opinion, would either be Mario, because his star hit only costing you 1
Right.
could be very beneficial. If you make solid contact, it's a instant double.
I agree.
Single regardless, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Oh,
As long as it's
absolutely.
not foul.
Pretty much.
Mario?
Well, unless it bounces off an infielder and then it gets
Not-
caught
not
by a second.
necessarily.
infielder.
Magic Koopa pulls it in and gets burned.
And then could be a pop-up to another infielder.
Yeah, it could go off an infielder and then be caught by another
It depends.
infielder.
You can hard counter Mario Star Hit with a heavy infield, so you cover a lot of area, bait out the connection with the Star Hit, and then just get the
Gunned.
I definitely see the legitimacy of Mario as a...
It depends how good you are with Mario's hitbox.
But
If you're confident getting into the outfield, it's a viable first pick.
The risk of giving a team both Birdo and Bowser, though, it seems just very, very,
Well, here's the
I agree.
thing. I'm comfortable giving the other team Birdo and Bowser as long as Bowser's picked first.
right, because
Right,
Birdo,
that's
like you were
true.
saying,
Because then Birdo's stock drops immensely. She's going to take 2 stars to be useful, and otherwise, her results aren't too staggering.
Right. Definitely an average hitter without the Star Hit. And
At best. DK with a long fly, but Luigi's there to eat it.
So, many players think that Yoshi and Birdo are identical. Can we talk a little bit about why Yoshi is about, 5 places lower on the tier list?
Well, again, I think that Birdo is a very special case. I agree that when selected first that Birdo is a legitimate #1 pick, but overall, I'm not entirely convinced just for the fact that if you don't pick her #1, she's worse than Yoshi. In my opinion.
right.
And that might not be the general consensus.
Yeah.
But I think Yoshi is the better overall player regardless of selection slot, if you will, like the pick selection. Whereas Birdo strictly depends on being picked first. So and that doesn't sit too right with me. You know what I mean? Like, I like to look at which player is better intrinsically, regardless of order selection or relevance to the selection. In which case, I think Yoshi is superior. For speed, for the tongue grab, easy singles.
His egg ball is
The egg
ball is not as impressive as the Birdo weird ball. But taking that aside, Yoshi's just a more rounded player. You almost don't need the egg ball. He can run, he can hit, he can field.
The only
steal.
The only
And steal.
that a lot of people don't think about is Yoshi's taunt has the possibility of a drop, whereas Birdo's, you don't really see her suck dropping too much or bopping.
No, but it has a much longer animation.
Right.
It's gonna take her longer to get that ball off.
Right, that's true. And if you miss Birdo's taunt, the end lag on that and the punish for missing that against the ball, especially on the outside.
It is great. We're gonna have a close play at third, but it's. So we have the corners, the table set with nobody out. Runners on the corners. Peach at bat. She's gonna swing, ground ball to Birdo. She's gonna go home with it, and the runner is safe. Making it a 2-0 game, and everyone else is safe as well.
Marty is a very good singer.
He is, but a ground ball to second, over to second, and on to first for a double play. Runner at third, though, with Boo at the plate, is never out.
What?
But he knocks one foul.
Oh my god!
We got a lot of chatter in the background. A foul. We call King Boo the king of foul balls, but Boo is easily the prince. Unless he is knocking one into PD Piranha's mouth to retire the side.
That mouth is just too big, ladies and gentlemen.
What that mouth do, ladies and gentlemen, it catches baseballs.
And that's it. I thought there was no chance.
Top of the sixth here. 2-0 in favor of Bowser and a strikeout of Mario via Waluigi. Results in the first out of the inning to bring Yoshi to the plate.
Outside in.
Swing and a miss. Little looper.
Wrapped up by.
Handled easily. And that brings the big boy to the plate. Takes one on the attack corner, strike one.
Now we see that Gil does not have any star power. We have not seen a lot of star changes this game. How is this going to affect the rest of this game?
A little inside
As
leaf.
a Birdo.
Results in a short pop up for
Definitely going to affect late game.
third out.
Straight hard. Literally this one before Birdo gets up to the can still knock a single or two, but just not nearly good. Now, Pete Piranha preying on foul balls like the shark he is.
Petey, what that mouth do? Oh, deep to right! Yeah, that's gone. That's gone. Bowser wins games, ladies and gentlemen. Bowser wins games. That makes it a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 6th.
Still holding his grounds.
This one's deep to right, but it doesn't look like it's enough. Luigi with the grab with his back against the wall.
You gotta think now, ladies and gentlemen. Is Purple Toad possibly causing a run deficit? Do you think that the pitching staff is part of the...
I'm not. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I think that Purple Toad only yielding 3 runs through 7 deep to left, and it's fair. The climber does nothing. The gun to second. Also irrelevant. I actually think that Purple Toad only giving up 3 runs through 6 innings is actually impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
I would...
I thought Connor would have capitalized a lot more on it.
I agree. I think that's a pretty good takeaway.
Now, a thought is Purple Toad a good character or a decent choice? Or is Gil does Gil just know his way around Purple Toad?
Well, given what I know, I'd say it's a relatively fluky situation. But if the numbers back it up, then the numbers can back it up. What it ultimately comes down to is the wins and losses. And right now, Toad is on the short end of it. You know, which isn't to say that you don't lose games with Boo, or you don't lose games with Waluigi. You know, it's possible. But you sure can get some wins with those characters on the hill, let me tell you. And so far, I don't see a lot of potential for Purple Toad to cash in a win as your starting pitcher.
Plus, I mean, me personally, I see a lot of value in Toad in the outfield.
Toad's got wheels.
He's quick, he can get the ball, and he's got a pretty quick release as well.
Toad's definitely got wheels.
If no anti-chemistry.
No.
Did you see a pickle here tonight, ladies and gentlemen?
We haven't seen one yet.
That's what keeps me in it.
Peach hits a lob to Black Shot. Almost called him Green Shot. Two out scoring position, Monty up.
That's a line drive.
A great single to lead the run.
4-0 in favor of Bowser. That brings Boo to the plate, but it looks like we're going to have a quick change of defensive alignment. We'll see
I'm going to call
what
fire.
the change is here. So we got Purple Toad looking like he's going to move out of the mound. We got Mario coming in. Purple Toad moves to left.
I definitely agree with that. The options he has.
Mario's a solid relief pitcher. You can't have him on the mound for too long, aka a starting pitcher. But coming in relief here to stop the bleeding in the late inning game may be beneficial.
Wow.
And we got 2 extra bases taken there. We got 2 outs with 2 runners on. A line drive to right, and that's going to bring in a pair. Boo rounds and heads on home. Magic with the 2-run single.
2-run single feels good.
It sure does. You know what doesn't feel good? A little ground ball to shortstop and getting gunned down by Birdos, right? But a 3-spot does double the lead and make it a 6-0 ball game at the top of the 8th.
I feel like you don't really see that if you start it pulling it as much as
Bringing it to left. Absolutely not. Well, I'm agreeing with you. Is what I meant by absolutely not.
Right. I got you.
You absolutely don't see it getting pulled very often. Ooh, nice snag on the dive.
Time and again, proving that his body is very big.
He is the best special slide in the game, and Mario with a charge not going to get it done in a 1-2-3 inning. Brings us to the bottom of the 8th. Remains a 6-0 ball game.
We were calling it no hit, and now the hits are falling.
That's pretty docile for a Mario baseball game, honestly. Well, no hitters are not small. It's no hits. Non-existent hits.
2 small hits.
I see.
We have D-Con now, though. He's batting awful. Didn't even pranked officially.
The changeup is a real devastating pitcher. But a line drive not in range for the suck, and that goes into left for a single. Runner going. Ball into right.
great call on the steal.
Gets down for a base hit. Runner goes to third. Now at
Scoring position.
corner.
Wario has chemistry with Waluigi on first. And that's a great chemistry to have right now. Wario charges. And swing and a miss. Wario charges.
Look at him. He's already excited. He's coming over.
I need a game. Who's playing? I'm sitting over here commentating. Let's play. Let's go.
Lionel has left the commentators.
Yeah.
I'm in the game.
But he's in the game. He's playing on.
No, Gabriel.
It's a great hit for That's another great hit for Monty. Loading up the bases. Alright, I'll probably.
Jim's gonna go soon.
When
are you going down?
I'll probably play one more after this. I'll probably play one more after commentating this. And then I'll be that ready. I'd like to play one more person that I don't really haven't played before or don't get to play as much.
We're going top of the ninth. Gil needs to pull off.
I think Zach.
What's a good baseball movie where they did a good comeback?
Moneyball. Sure.
Moneyball, probably. I
It's
believe.
the only baseball movie I've seen.
Mike, are you going tomorrow?
Sandlot, probably. Gil needs some sort of. That's a good start to it.
51? Or
Well, we've
52?
seen time and time again that he is a very strong hitter,
Are you doing online?
but also the other half of his hits are
So,
beatniks.
do you,
Just like
do you just show them like an email confirmation, or how does that work? Like,
part of the
now,
commentator Dave is in the
do you
middle
have,
of
like, an email that
another
you show them,
conversation
ask
across the
them,
room with somebody else. It's very distracting.
We can check other people's movies. That's true.
2 outs. This game may be about to close out.
Fire
Fire Bro on the
has
plate.
Victor's worst of
DK is his body big enough. DK catches the ball for a game. That's an 8 out. Connor to go.
Yeah, Matt, I'll buy it tonight.
Somebody has to be in there. Thanks.
Tomorrow?
Gil, a word.
Where's the green shot, guys? Okay, I understand. You don't want to put the kid on.
Come take a seat. Thank you. Thanks for commentating, Gabe. Now, Gil,
Green shot got
did you feel going into the game knowing that you were the underdog? That Connor's record is superior to almost everybody in the play?
I feel like everybody, most people, I think, in this club have an equal shot once you kind of figure out like, how their playing style is. Especially Connor's pitching impressed me a lot tonight. You know, he definitely got me on some very last-minute curveballs that I definitely got by surprise. I think, because I know definitely a lot of people were concerned about the purple toad on the start. I think.
Yes, we're all very interested to see that pick. I like it.
I think if you, I just kind of see it as like a surprise, you know, like I think I've started maybe like twice in like the 6 games I played. I think if you bring a pitcher that a lot of people don't expect, like I'm pretty sure this attack goes the same food Waluigi.
Yo, guys, green shot guy just got MVP on this side.
Green shot guy MVP.
You see like purple toad, probably like you won't really expect it. Like I know, especially when I played Gabe last week, I started Toadsworth against him, and I went I think 7 3/4, giving up only 2 runs.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, totally.
and his start pitch was definitely something that caught Gabe by surprise because it's kind of like how Birdo's start pitch works in Super Sluggers, but it's a little bit faster. Like it starts slow and then it speeds up very
Don't fuel the fire.
Yes.
But I think my biggest, I think the inside the park come on for the Peach definitely was a filter. I don't know why right field really didn't have an answer. Kind of silly that Shy Guy ran those segues all the way to the right field
That
wall.
was a weird thing to
That
see.
was weird. I didn't think that would happen. But I think his pitching definitely did it for me tonight. I think if I really got some balls in play, it would have been a lot closer. But you know, games like this, they happen.
For sure, yeah. We often see upsets with going against Connor. He's very famous for Glenn XO people. I personally have not scored against Connor in our past 2 games, I don't think. Maybe 1. His defense is always just very good. He knows what he's doing with those princesses. He picks Peach every time.
Yeah, I think that's something I definitely noticed, and that's something I should start considering. He picks outfielders that are not likely to have errors or to bobble the ball, which is very strong to have in the outfield. And you know, against my 2 other games I had today, I know my first opponent, he went for the Yoshi tongue twice, and he actually bobbled it both times. He still made the play, but he still that bobble was still there. And then I hit a line drive. My second game, I hit a line drive to Luigi to the left, and it bounced off him, and I got base hit off that. So I think just the outfield strength, and there's definitely very strong outfielders in this game. Diddy Kong being one of them. I think Peach is up there. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like Wario potentially could be a decent outfielder with his slide.
We have not seen him in a very long time, but his slide can get him there.
Yeah.
It's true that slow characters in the outfield is really risky, especially I don't think he's laser beam.
He might.
If he has laser beam, then his stock goes up in the outfield just a little bit. But if he does not, then he would definitely be a weaker outfielder. The sliding could give him like a little bit. We're doing an interview. Hi, Ben. Say hi to the audience, Ben.
Hello, is this streamed or recorded?
Oh yeah, both. What's up? Hi everybody, I'm Ben.
Everybody. Oh, I'm sure 1,000 people watching right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't there
Let's see the Twitch.
second chair?
Yeah, I think the chair was snatched.
I sees it.
Now,
Why are you about to
now,
play?
Gil,
I want to
have another
comment on
question for
that.
you, one
Somebody
more on
play.
this. I want to play on this setup.
I just
so if anyone
played.
wants to get in.
Matt?
Yeah, Matt, you want to play?
I'm feeling it.
Whoa.
I'll play another.
I have to play Connor.
Either way, if anyone else
Play
wants to, I'll give it up. But like, I'm happy to play it.
I'll go see. But Gil, I have one more question for you. So you typically pick characters that this club would consider basement tier. Now, how do you feel when half your team is basement tier and everyone has some sort of comment to say about it?
I think, well, Toad, for me personally, he's a character that really like sits in my heart. When I first started playing this game, he was actually the first character I ever hit a home run with, like over Bowser and Petey. Wow. I think actually when I first went through the challenge mode, I think I picked Peach's team, and I think it actually was the Purple Toad that hit a home run for me, my very first home run.
Yeah, Toad is actually not in basement tier.
I think when I first saw the tiers, I thought Toad was. I think Toad should be a lot higher. I think he has potential to at least be mid tier.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but I saw a game for you. You didn't show us on the stream tonight, but I saw a game you were playing before, and you had Paratroopa, Koopa, Paragoomba, just to name a few.
Yeah, that is true.
What was that about?
I tried to make that team kind of revolve around Bowser, knowing that Bowser was mostly going to be either my first baseman or my catcher. And Paratroopa and Paragoomba are both very solid fielders, in my opinion. I think their weaknesses are probably their hitting. But I know definitely, I've made many strong plays with Paragoomba before. I know Paratroopa, I personally think he's really strong in the outfield. Either in the infield or the outfield.
Paratroopa?
Yeah, I think so. I think if Paragoomba had a little bit more chemistry, because I believe the only chemistry he has in this game is Paratroopa and Goomba. I think if he had a little bit more chemistry, he'd be a little more viable. But Paragoomba is also someone, in my opinion, who's very decent all around and strong and probably fielding, because he does have a high jump, like a lot of other characters.
The thing I see about that being special is that high jump is featured on quite a few other characters that are just more viable usually, like King Boo and Boo. They usually have high jump. I think Luigi has high jump as well. He's okay. You know if Luigi has high jump, Ben? He does.
I mean, I think also I picked Paragoomba, and I think Boo and King Boo weren't both taken. So, and I was at a point where I was getting towards that last week picks, and my options were pretty limited.
Oh, that's
So, I think I figured out, like, you know what, he's probably the best out of what I have left. Out of what is given here, so.
Now, did you take that game, or was it a close game?
It was, I believe the score was 5-1. Yeah, and I did have, I have Fire Bros started in the first 2 innings. Yeah, and then I put Goop, and then I switched out from really regular Goop, and he gave me, I think, 6.5 strong innings. I actually checked after the game. I think he, for me,
This is the only kind of Dorito that's really
maybe give up
the bag and
4 or 5 hits.
Yeah, what's that shit?
That's great. We can see more and more strikeouts as the club gets stronger.
That's a game.
Okay, so Gil, I'd love to talk with you more, but I have to piss really bad. And then you can keep talking until it's night. But I'm gonna go urinate, and then I'm gonna take a seat and find an opponent for this game. So thank you so much for talking. Please stand by. Someone want to talk into that?
I never thought of that. That's so much. See, I'm always at there. That's really hard. I need a break, and then I go back for more. A lot. That was a fucking good game, though. Yeah, I was a little very. That was a Connor did it.
I just
I think it was like the 6th inning. He got hot.
I didn't really think any mistakes. I don't know what it was. Thank you. Find myself in my pitching. Nothing is too cheesy.
I think my problem was I got too used to Sam's pitching.
I see the value.
His pitching style is like very.
It's hard for it's very situational, but it's hard for you to
So I was able to
value.
adapt it by like a 15 years. Like 12 runs.
What's really interesting is like even though the mechanics are pretty simple, like there's still a lot of depth to it.
Yeah.
So like the better players are better at manipulating the pitches, even though it seems like there's nothing obvious.
Yeah.
Really like that. You guys want to play and I'll commentate solo?
I just played it. That's how I'm good.
That's what I was
But
thinking.
Nick wanted to play.
Oh, Nick, you want to play?
Yeah,
You want to play Gil or do you want to commentate? It's up to you.
I'll do whatever you want.
Have
Or
we
the
ever-
opposite.
If you don't want to play Connor again, I'll play you.
Have we ever played before?
Oh, I think I owe you a game anyway.
That, all right, that's.
Sit your ass down. Get in my.
I want to commentate anyway.
I need a chair.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm already a long boy.
I'm ready to go.
The one problem I have is that, like, commentary, you really want to feel.
Before I get into this, I'm gonna need water from all of the things that I hate. Okay, go for it.
Just get any. You know where the cups are, right?
Are you taking?
Wait, Ben.
Course.
The sink
doing not.
on that side.
Yeah, I was gonna
not
say.
this side.
Here, I'll find this.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody, I don't know if this is going to get cut into a video, but the sink, we have 2 sinks in our kitchen here at the baseball house. And one of them's a little sketchy, the water's kind of foggy usually. The other one's fine, so I'm just making sure my boys don't die of fluoride poisoning or anything like that.
That wouldn't be the worst way to go.
But, you know, just in case nobody was paying attention on the videos, I'm just going to say the war on drugs is the new Jim Crow, and 2018 is the height of the Cold War. Trump colluded with. Never mind. I'm gonna stop saying that stuff. But anyway, we're gonna hopefully have a great game of Mario Baseball. We have Nick versus Gil. Again, I don't know if this will be in the final video. We got Ben using. Ooh, nice choice of glass. But we got Nick Keller and Gil. No, Gil's his last name. We got Gil or Matt Gill as the social security card calls him.
You got Matt McGill?
Absolutely.
Am I getting commentated by both Connor and Ben? This is an honor.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a good one. So we have Nick, kind of. Both of these players are kind of up and coming. Nick is a little. Has been in the scene a little longer.
Gil was definitely late to the party, but
Gil was late to the party, but he's definitely showing potential.
Had a good game with Gabe.
Yeah. So Gil is definitely probably the rookie of the week, month, whatever. Whereas Nick, you know, started low, but has improved pretty quickly. And Nick is now. Nick had a very close game with Jim earlier, and has had close games. 12th, I think. 12th. Yeah. So, all right. So we have the draft early on. Sorry, who's on right and left?
I'm on left.
God damn it. All right. So Gil on the left, picking Bowser, and pausing Bowser.
Why is it labeled? That'd be
No, well,
that'd be cool.
it's just like, yeah,
Just so it doesn't look stupid.
it's just confusing to us.
Imagine a layout and you have the names. That'd be cool.
But this is the preliminary.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's for another time.
You know, I have nothing but optimism for the Mario Baseball scene. Anyway, Nick with Birdo. Who chose first? Nick chose. Okay, so interesting. Nick chose first and chose Birdo. So this is kind of the big debate right now. If you get first pick, do you choose Bowser or Birdo? And it really depends how you ask. I would say it's about 50-50. I want to say Bowser is becoming more popular, but it's hard to say.
I actually want to talk about like some like just thinking that I was doing before.
Okay.
Because when I had first picked my captain, and obviously the current meta generally is pick either Bowser or Birdo. They're both just really valuable as captains. Because Bowser's just going to have Bowser.
Right.
But he doesn't necessarily get that much boosting in captain. Birdo,
None at all.
especially boosting in captain.
Right.
You know, obviously you need to start. That's really good.
Right.
That situation.
So that's your
But
question.
my first thing is that I ended up putting Peach as my captain the first time, or for a little bit. And I actually enjoyed having that star hit as like using that as my option because I liked having a constant ability to use stars in my pitch. Because I think it kind of invalidated Bowser a lot. Like, a lot of people went on Bowser, that's with the free base. But I was, honestly, Bowser was not a threat. So I didn't have it because so I think that's the thing that I was thinking of. The only thing that does is they can give you Birdo. And you'd still want Birdo because, it's, you know, we're still a good character. The stars aren't completely useless in that sense. Like, you could go a pretty good way with stars, considering if you only use them for pitching out Bowser and, like, Birdo hits.
No,
That's still very contemporary. So that's the thing I was thinking.
I'll address that during the bat order picking, but right now, I just want to comment on the draft. So it looks like Nick is going pretty close to the tier list, whereas Gil, as usual, is picking a little bit against it, less so than usual. Bowser Jr. and Noki both picked earlier than usual. In fact, Bowser Jr. and Noki usually compete for the last pick, or second to last pick, but both are on the team before. It's a little interesting.
He likes Noki. He was telling me about it before that he always gets solid, like, at least 6 hits. Like, he's got it.
Now Dry Bones is another interesting pick. Gil seems to be comfortable with a lot of the unpopular characters, which, you know, down the line that could really come to benefit him as he develops his skills in pitching and batting. But Noki, we saw a really interesting development with the Run and Gabe game, which is also available to watch on City Hall's YouTube channel. Gabe, it was near the end of the game, and Gabe used a star hit with Noki. Like Magic Koopa, it drove the ball straight down the middle for a guaranteed single. Nothing the fielders could do. So, if that becomes more popular with Noki, we could see her shoot up in the tier list real quick. But anyway.
Who do you think is going to pick right now? What is he missing in the general game?
Fucking Peach, man. Peach is the best character here. I think that I see myself as a bit of a gentleman, and if Peach hasn't been picked by, let's say, pick 5 on my team, I pick Peach no matter what. It's the right thing to do. But we see another Gil unorthodox pick with Paracupa. Fun fact, when Lionel and I were first getting interested in the metagame, we looked it up on Game FAQs, and there was one person. There's the tier list thread, 2006, year after the game came out. There's one person who had a tier list with Paracupa as the best character in the game. So that's kind of a meme now, but nonetheless, Paracupa.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
There's always a possibility.
What happened?
It did happen. There was a guy that had him first on the tier list.
Red or green?
I'm not sure now that you mentioned. Probably red. I want to say red. First bet goes to... Yeah. So anyway, as we were saying about Birdo and Bowser, or Peach rather, I think that between the top, any captain character in the top 10, I think is at least viable as your first pick. And in this game, it's not so much about the value of characters in a vacuum as it is about committing to a strategy. If your strategy is to pick Peach first and use a lot of star pitches to prevent home runs, that's probably going to work decently well. The problem is that if you were to pick Peaches first and then use her like she's generally used, as if you want to pick first, then you won't have any success and you'll probably lose.
Your plan of making your team has to follow up with the plan you have.
Yeah.
Like, it has to back up that.
Yes, you have to have a coherent plan for the entire, how it's all going to work. Peach is normally used as a pitcher, a backup pitcher, a good fielder.
I gotta comment on that incredible double that I was kind of shocked he was going for it, but
yeah,
it's kind of landed. Dixie's pretty fast. Now we got someone.
All right, there it is.
Depending on the angles, we might get a run home. Yeah, it's gonna be
a run right there. Yep, Birdo, absolutely.
First point going to. I already forgot who was in. First point going to Nick.
That's Nick. Nick's got Birdo. Gil's got Bowser.
Gotcha, Birdo Bowser. Always have that.
Yeah, the coherent strategy. That's really what it's all about. There's a lot of viable strategy. Ooh, he is going for it, and the anti-synergy is actually going to bite him. Wow. Yeah, Noki definitely has her limitations, as there are characters like Dixie, or if they're in left field, they can pretty much punt the ball home. And
yeah, see, it's tough because you want a fast character that's not going to get tripped up like any of, they also need to have one because what use are they if they can catch it but can't get it to you as well. Oh, we're going for another extra skill.
No, this is greedy as hell right now. Okay.
He just wanted to keep the momentum going, really get in his head. Because that might get in my head, to be honest. Like, if you keep stealing.
You can definitely wear down your opponent's attention. My thing about pickles, the reason I don't think stealing is a big thing, is because if you're the fielder, you can just hold the ball at the next base and not let them go. Ultimately. Yeah. You don't have to try and get them out. You can just prevent them from going forward and advancing. So, in my opinion, stealing is overrated by a lot of the top players, actually. Jim in particular is a big stealer. And it does work for him every now and then, but in terms of how many runs per game it nets, maybe one, I don't think it's a huge factor. But, you know, if Gabe and Jim were commentating right now, you'd hear a totally different opinion. So that's the beauty of this game. Bones at bat.
At least the first strike I'd acknowledge. I've seen a lot of field plays.
Strikeouts are always good. Paracupa at bat.
See what I'm about. Wow, what a hit. And honestly, which isn't great, but in that situation, worked out really well. Although I will say, I think he would have been able to make it to first in time.
He would have.
But that still definitely would have advanced.
That's hindsight of going for Bowser. Now, Bowser really only works hitting to the right. To right field. If you're ever Bowser, even if you hit towards the center.
Like, look.
No. I mean, like.
Oh, like okay.
Like
you always want to aim that way.
I mean, it's easier said than done, but generally, if the ball goes to the left with Bowser, it's an out.
Yeah. Or even the underwhelming special. I don't know if that's always aim. I saw it come out and it went straight ahead.
Bowser Jr. very inconsistent special so far from what we've seen. People are just starting to use it. I think after my character of the day post, people are using it a bit more. Maybe. But
I see that would be a boomerang hit and it would curve a lot. That would be cool.
It does. Usually.
Needs to be super dramatic.
Boomerang Bro, kind of like King Boo, not as extreme with the curve. Yeah, Boomerang Bro is an interesting character.
Should we watch the small screen or
the big screen? Yeah, the small screen's a few seconds behind. Anyway, we have who's at bat right now? I can't remember.
That's not just me.
Because the captains aren't the pitchers, so you don't know.
Yeah.
Who's batting, guys?
Okay, it's funny you say that. I was just about to realize because I saw.
Oh, right. Kill has drivers.
See, that's something I need to remember more. I like the choice to just let it hit the ground and you know he's not going to get the catch and just, like, let it roll to him. They get a rush forward and then not make it.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic thing because if you dive for the ball and miss, that's going to get them an extra, at least one, probably two bases. Sometimes it gets them a run. We got a nice pickle here. Ooh, okay, alright. Is what it is. Yellow Magic Koopa, not really.
Now that I think about it, what is even the point of playing the game as the pitcher in that situation? Because I was thinking though, but I was thinking about the stealing again. But in that, like the best, you're right, because at that point the best they're gonna get is second. But if you do that, if you stand there, the best they're gonna get is first, no matter what. So why?
Well, it depends, because
like if the character you think is especially slow and you think it's worth it, or maybe if you have two outs already.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. If it's a slow character or if you have two outs, it can be great. It's also kind of a pride thing. You know,
trying to steal on me.
Something that's not talked about really at all is the mental game. And I think when you win a pickle, even if you didn't need to, it's definitely a boost for your morale. And that does matter. A lot of nerves, a lot of psychology. And winning the pickle, some players, it's just like, you know, if you're a Lionel and you're going against someone new and they try to pickle you, that's disrespectful, you know? And you want to get them out, and you know you can, and you go for it. So it makes sense to me, and it's kind of a fun little.
I thought that was gonna be like
where was he?
Absolutely.
I love hearing that. So funny.
That's sad.
Oh, of course. I'm talking to the original.
It's a single.
See, I thought that.
Okay. Another place where I diverge from the other. So there's basically the top 4 players are me, Lionel, Gaben, and Jim. And then another place where I diverge from them is I don't think Donkey Kong is as good. Mainly because I think his hitting sucks, as you are seeing an example right now. I think he's worse than King Boo at hitting. If Donkey Kong doesn't hit a home run, it's almost always an out. And if he does hit a home run, well, he hits home runs less often. King Boo doesn't hit home runs very often either, but if he doesn't, it's often a base hit or a double. So I personally think Donkey Kong's hitting is bad and his fielding is good, which everybody agrees on. So that's one thing that I think people should keep an eye out for. I don't think Donkey Kong is quite as premium of a pick as people are saying.
Like you said, if you want him for something else, that still means you have to kind of think early, like after that. Then no, you won't have him for the use you want him for.
Yeah, I mean, you go into the game knowing people want Donkey Kong. Usually Donkey Kong's going to be picked by at least 6 or 7. And so if you do plan on having him, you do have to pick him early. Which is one of those things, like if you don't value Donkey Kong and he's not necessary to your strategy, then don't fucking pick him. Like, use that extra pick to get someone valuable to you. Like Hammer
The whole
Bro.
thing is you want to get your own plan down, but you don't want to give them like what they want either.
Well, that's another thing, because there's the 3 characters that are connected are Donkey Kong, Birdo, and Petey. Especially Donkey Kong and Petey, because that's the best shortstop to first combo. And Petey and Donkey Kong are really neck and neck in terms of value on the community tier list. So, if your opponent has Petey Piranha, Donkey Kong becomes more valuable to you. Because Donkey Kong and Petey are so good together. The shortstop combo, it's really good. Petey is really ideal for first, and Donkey Kong is ideal for short when Petey's on first. So, that's definitely something to look out for. Anyway, back to the game.
We're getting into really meta.
We've getting
It's an early video, people need to understand.
getting too meta, and I feel like when did those 2 runs get started?
Alright, from this moment on, we're dedicated casters.
We're dedicated casters.
Oh, it was the first inning.
It was the first. We were commentating when it
Alright,
happened.
so
Okay.
yeah,
all
we're
right.
not slow.
We're not being assholes. All right, so we got.
So we got
Okay, we got a nice hit from Madge.
We haven't gone through that.
Now, for a while, I was questioning if you're just going to use the star hit with Madge, why does it matter what color you are? So I picked blue, who has the fastest running. But the fact is, if you don't have a star, red is actually significantly better because of his higher batting stat. So the original thought of red Madge being the best is in fact correct. You do want the flexibility. You don't want to need a star. Oh, is that? Wow. Very good eye from Nick. Because that's another one of those things. If you fuck up Yoshi's tongue, you're really screwed.
Yeah, that's
that was
really bad. I've done that too plenty of times.
That last catch was not the last, but the one before it was just at the edge of Yoshi's range with the tongue, and you know, good decision making. Because the wrong pick there would have netted a double or a triple. Instead, it was an out. So that's key.
The hitbox is very small, very particular. And he's charging you there. How good is he charge for a character like this? How good is his hit? Is it better than I would expect?
I haven't picked Noki in at least 2 months. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Noki is just on the cusp of viability, and there's almost always someone better, in my opinion. Noki, I don't know. She gets base hits. Star hit might save her.
The Feldman might not have been ideal.
Are you kidding?
These are this one is. That same hit with a slightly better angle still would have been definitely pretty clear out.
Yeah, what's interesting, you kind of, the more you play, the more you, oh, Dixie, love to see that. I love seeing Dixie get really solid base hits. The more experienced you are with the game and the characters,
Ooh, that was especially mixed wow. You got the Mario baseball bullshit going to the Cuba instead of the Diddy Kong.
I mean, it sounds odd, but but Gil actually played that. Oh, that's a shame. Gil actually played that Birdo play perfectly. Because the whole thing with Birdo's star hit is you need to attack the ball. It doesn't matter how accurate you are. If you see the weird ball coming towards a character that you're controlling, you just gotta dive for it, no matter what. And a lot of the time, that gets him out. And so Gil played that perfectly between Paracupa and Drybones. He put the right inputs in for both characters. So, couldn't really...
How do you feel about either... Like, who do you think is a better hitter in that situation, Wario or King Boo? Because they use this power on King Boo, but I've seen Wario get decent hits. Like, this is still definitely going to be a point.
So you're saying between them, who would you use the star on?
Yeah.
I don't usually use it on either of them, but
only because it was a Grand Slam or a potential Grand Slam, which is why you think, okay, you want to really minimize the damage.
Those are both characters where the fact that the star hit is popular is because of Gabe and Jim, the Dubois players. They're the only ones who use either of those star hits, and they're both good, obviously. And so that makes me think, you know, maybe me and Lionel need to catch up. But both are good. I would use King Boo's in a vacuum because it only costs 1.
See, I was thinking in that situation I meant for the pitcher because he was pitching through him and we did it to avoid giving him the...
Oh, I misunderstood. Who's the pitcher, Boo? Or it was Waluigi?
It was Waluigi.
Oh, I would strike out King Boo every time. If I could only use 1 star pitch. I still don't see Wario as a threat on the mound unless he has a star, or unless he has 2 stars actually. Wario's gotten 1 or 2 home runs in the last few weeks. I think those are flukes, and I think that
you got some strong disease. You know how it is.
I do, and I mean, you know, it's not that I'm trying to enforce my opinion. It's that if I'm on commentary, I might as well say what I think, you know, because like commentary is just an interesting window into other opinions. Anyway, yeah, Yellow Match. I'm kind of curious. If we get a post-game interview with Gil, I definitely want to ask him why Yellow Match.
That was me.
Oh shit.
I'll take that interview.
All right, this is my fourth beer, okay? Nonetheless.
Well, you're gonna get a steal from me, but it's not gonna matter. I like the chance though.
So this is a close one. You know, Nick is not running away, but he's slowly chipping the lead in.
I feel like I see this happen a lot, and then around this time is where you really start to like gain some momentum. So hopefully, you're gonna make something happen now.
Yeah, probably. I just gotta record my score.
Starting up Bowser.
Okay. Risky inside pitch. It's interesting. Although really every pitch is risky against Bowser, as I've said before. Okay, we got standard stuff going on. And this is.
Hey, Rudy winning.
Ooh.
What? Rudy winning again.
Win?
Yes, we did City Hall win again.
Oh, Sam.
Nice. City Hall, the first W.
Get on the. I love how it's all of our first names and just City Hall.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's really true.
I mean, I'm close.
Yeah, that's it.
That's true.
You're
Love's not your first
and I'm
name.
confident.
Oh my goodness.
That's definitely a double.
Why did you get triple? The triple only really
Triple
happened
would've been
here.
a
If that was on the first base foul line, that would have been a triple. Oh, okay. That's a nice.
Yeah, definitely committed to that run there. It's a line drive to. Oh my goodness.
That would have been a double if that didn't happen.
That's quite the play. I don't really see Bowser Jr.'s one to make those kind of dives, but that was really far.
His dive is pretty far. I noticed that recently, actually, that his dive is farther than you think.
Oh man. He's gonna push the back a little bit. Make it all the way out.
Just a fancy single.
Just a fancy single.
Nothing big. We have.
The thing is, nothing fancy. I mean, you can't say that.
It was a little fancy, but it was just
nothing. It was a little fancy, but it was nothing fancy.
Waluigi,
his batting is definitely seems a little not great. I haven't seen him make a great hit.
No.
He get a great hits.
Now, one thing that some people don't pay attention to is Gil doesn't change his vertical positioning in the box. Some people don't think that matters at all, and other people do a lot. So that's really
farther back from the action. I know like you get different things. It depends on what kind of hit they do, but if you move back, that definitely gives you a chance to, like, to see it happening for longer.
honestly, I think it's one of the more interesting mechanics in the game because nobody can agree on whether it matters or not, or which is better. I think if you ask everybody in the club,
Well, what is your stance on this outfit?
it's kind of complex. I think it matters a lot, and I'm not quite sure how to use it fully. But I think it's complex.
You think it's early? It's like 12:30.
Generally, if I'm trying to hit an uncharged single, I'll go to the front of the box, and if I'm trying to hit a home run, I'll stay where I am.
Next week.
Anyway,
Thanks for teaching me.
that
Do I have anything better to do?
No, absolutely not. You no longer do. That's for sure. If you did, now you don't.
Yo, Lubs took his game, right?
Lubs, did you take your copy of the game?
Okay.
Alright, we can have balled out a lot of stuff.
Alright, now we have the top of the
My
eighth.
copy is.
We're gonna have another hour here, so we're gonna go straight up from there.
Okay, so the bottom of the eighth. Bowser Monsters.
Already, I'm losing my mind.
Alright, now I personally, I'd love to see a comeback for the Bowser Monsters.
This definitely isn't like out of the realm. You just gotta make some
Connor
good
was
hits.
right. If I was at that party with the chips, I would have eaten them.
Another left hit.
Bowser Jr. has been getting pretty reliable singles. So
Yeah, that's a little piece of real life commentary. If you're bringing chips to a party and you want them to last a long time, buy the spiciest chips you can because people don't consume them as quickly as they do for other kinds. If you buy nacho cheese Doritos, they're gone in seconds. Literally seconds if it's a busy party. If you buy jalapeno flavored fucking ShopRite brand chips, they're gonna last the whole night. And people are gonna be like, wow, whoever bought these chips was really an important piece of this party. So that's
talking about the
what I
chips,
do.
and now I gotta
Get a chip. I'll be there. Yes, even my decision of which chips to buy have the purpose of accumulating more social power. Anyway, we have Daisy on the plate. Daisy, as usual, looking for a slice hit. We have Nick down to the back and right side of the box, which is very interesting.
Can I see if your charger plays?
Ooh, the changeup.
You pranked me twice.
Changeup is.
I mean, it just if it plugs in. My laptop's running.
Changeup is probably the most interesting pitch, in my opinion, because it's very easy to exploit, but sometimes it's a very easy strike. So
that chip thing was really smart.
yeah, I noticed that a little while ago. It's pretty cool.
It's nothing fancy.
The chip meta. If you're buying them for yourself, you get what you want. But if you're buying them to be generous,
What does that have to end the video soon?
that's what you gotta do.
After his pee flies away, why doesn't he fly in the field?
He's lazy. He just, you know,
The game's
it's
balanced.
one of those guys that has. That's true.
He's like, no,
If Petey had any more perks, I think he would just be broken.
Wait.
But Petey is one of those guys who, you know, the guy who's really smart in high school but doesn't really do anything with their life. That's kind of what Petey does. He could be the best player in the game, but chooses to be only the 5th or 6th best player in the game.
Sorry, is this team that's
Petey with double play on himself. That's the game. We got a clean 4-0 from Nick. Not a runaway, but pretty consistent, pretty convincing win. So, you know, that's pretty much what we'd expect. Yeah, good game.
Didn't get too out of hand at all.
I'm gonna grab another beer.
Looks like we're gonna have to end our stream, eh?
Thank you for coming, everybody.
What?
I think we got some good stuff on
I do too.
The commentary is really another level.
Yeah, I think we have to. Is that what?
We got the Doritos Blaze commentary first game.
Yeah, so this is,
Yeah, the Doritos plug.
Jim, did you put our match?
Plug in the video.
Did you put our match down at the
Alright, so the video is gonna end soon. New Paltz Baseball Club. It's been gaining more members every week, so if you have a slight interest in Mario Baseball, just know that this is a legit thing. We meet at my house. Our Facebook group is New Paltz Mario Baseball Club, and it's fucking awesome, so feel free to hit us up. Have a good night, folks.